Okay, so we're at the Overland Expo in the Pacific Northwest. I'm here with Kurt, correct?
You got it.
And we're checking out the Lexus, the GX 550.
You got it.
So I don't know all the specs like I did on the Tacoma, so we're gonna walk around this with him and check out what all they've done. Obviously this is more beautiful in person than it is in the photos. I thought it was cool looking in the photos, but this is fantastic. And so this has the V6 from the Tundra, basically.
Same V6 twin turbo, shared drivetrain.
Exact same power numbers?
349 horse.
Okay.
I believe it's the same. Don't hold me to that one.
For sure.
I know this one. I'm not super up to speed on there. This is a V6 twin turbo with the 10-speed automatic transmission.
Okay.
The big difference between the Tundra Sequoia platforms and the GX 550 and LX 600s, this is a full-time TK, so full-time four-wheel drive with a locking center diff.
Okay, and this has, is this a hybrid system?
Non-hybrid.
Okay, cool.
Non-hybrid
right
system.
On. That's awesome. Okay, and so I guess if you want to just walk us around it and just point out some of the features. Wheelbase, we were just talking about the wheelbase, and we went over some other numbers before we started recording. That's kind of some misinformation online.
Just a measurement with or without the mirrors is where the clarification is.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a little narrower than the Tundra platform is. With mirrors is where that number's coming from that you had. Yeah,
because we had seen before the show that this was wider than the Tundra, and that's actually not the case. We proved that with a tape measure. So anyway, so the wheelbase you're saying is 112?
112 and a half, right in that roughly right there, which is very similar to a lot of platforms have had in the past. So it's a really well-known platform. But yeah, come on in. 33-inch tire, definitely some room in the wheel wells. You can see they've certainly accommodated that larger tire, plenty of room for flex and articulation. So it's really the Overtrail Plus is all about an off-road vehicle. They've certainly aimed this at the off-road and overland market with the amenities it has.
Okay.
It's a two-row platform. So many customers were buying these and are immediately removing third rows. So now you can buy it as a two-row and start building out your cargo systems right off the bat.
And so that's only the Overtrail. The other models do have the third row. Correct?
Yeah, available in other models. There are quite a lot of trims going to be available, so a lot of really cool platforms to suit the needs of the buyer. This one certainly fits into this community, having the rear locker, the upsized tire, the smaller wheel selection, so you've got a little more tire selection, a little more compliance out of sidewall.
Okay.
So definitely some cool modifications on this platform.
And so this is an
18-inch wheel, correct.
Okay, and so that's going to be standard. I'm sure these have the larger front brakes, just like the new Toyotas.
You got it, yep.
And this has a beefy sway bar, and does this have a disconnect?
It's an EKDSS system, so it's all electronic, so it's got all the fantastic off-road multi-terrain select modes. It's got all the cool gadgets in that direction, but still a very stalwart, full body-on-frame chassis.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very excellent machine.
Yeah, this thing is pretty, and it's kind of got the FJ mirrors going on. We've got an FJ Cruiser, so that's very...
kind of right at home. You'll see a lot of tributes to other vehicles. I've heard customers say it feels very 70 series, very 80 series. I think everybody's kind of seeing some design characteristics and cues out of previous vehicles, but not swaying too far from the GX 470 and GX 460 that were proven amazing platforms as well. They've done really well over the years, but this is all new, full model change, so a lot of really cool new stuff in this new trim.
Skid plates?
Just a factory style skid, and TBD on in the future if there's going to be some offerings there.
Okay, so is it the factory skid just plastics, not aluminum, not steel?
It does have. Let me double check on this one. See if production wise. I'll sneak around here. I apologize.
No, you're good.
No, this one does not.
Okay.
Just it's a tin style. It's got a metal skid plate, but it's not a.
And you said 6 months before production.
Oh yeah. This is a fully hand-built pre-production car. So do know that trim and finish will change a little bit on this one over time.
Okay.
So this is a handmade. They don't go to production for another 4, 5, 6 months here.
Awesome. Okay. And then so we're way out on knowing pricing and stuff.
Correct. Yep. No, pricing's not been announced.
I guess we'll do interior separately, and then so should we go back around to the rear end?
Anything you'd like to look at? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a busy day around the GX today. A lot of people are excited to see it, so we'll have to muscle through.
Getting out of the sun a little bit, we're at the rear end of this thing, and so you were saying this has 8,000 pounds of towing?
8,000 pound tow capacity, depending on trim level, so not necessarily the Overtrail Plus, some of that's still in the works. That's going to have to do with tire size and some of the different tire wheel packages, but definitely see a big bump in the tow capacity versus previous models.
Okay.
As I mentioned, this is a two-row variant, so you've got easy to build, do cargo systems, etc. in the back. A little bit wider than the previous generation as well, so you're gaining a little bit of room on the inside if you were to compare against the previous model. Cool. About 3 inches wider.
There's a lot of room back there, especially compared to my FJ.
Yeah, quite a bit more room over a traditional FJ platform for sure.
And then we got the solid rear. Do you know if this is the 9.5-inch diff or is this the 10.5?
They're not calling it a 9.5, which the 9.5 never measured 9.5 anyway. It kind of measured more like 8 3/4 or 8.875 on the previous. But it was always called 9.5 by the cruiser community. This is a bigger diff. It's somewhere going to be like in the, I'm hearing 9.25. I haven't seen an advertised spec, but it is a larger rear diff than previous generation with the E-locker, the factory locking differential.
Okay, cool. And this is the, sorry, one more time, the Trail.
Over Trail Plus.
Plus, okay.
It's the Over Trail Plus trim. Yeah.
And that's the one that comes with the rear locker.
With the rear locker, you got it.
And then since this has the door that goes up now, does this doesn't roll down, that pops up?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, liftgate pops. So you gone away from the traditional swing barn door to a one-piece liftgate.
Yeah.
Pros and cons, of course. I like it better because now you at least get some protection, some element protection out of it as you're in and out of the back. And the aftermarket will certainly come up with beautiful ways to have tables, slides, drawers. We expect those quite soon.
I'm sure Goose Gear's already working on it.
They're already been over here looking at it for sure. They're all looking at it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Roof rack. So on the roof rack options, I know you said that a lot of that's kind of up in the air. Do you know if
well, this is the factory trim that this one will have. Aftermarket will certainly have a lot. They've had measuring sessions with these vehicles already, so manufacturers like CBI, Prinsu are already looking at aftermarket options.
Bolting stuff up.
You got it.
And it's got the single sunroof. And is that going to be standard on these?
Don't hold me to that because I know there are a few options on trim levels on those.
Cool. Okay. And then let's see. Do you know if they designed these windows at all to be replaced with any aftermarket stuff?
They did not design that. I mean, Lexus is probably not going to do that themselves.
Right.
But we know all the traditional companies are going to quickly hop onto storage, only panels and/or flip-up side windows.
Yeah.
I expect to see those soon.
I'm curious because not that you can say anything, but this will be probably very similar to the new Land Cruiser, and I'm curious what Toyota's going to do with that. And I'm also curious if some of those parts will cross over with this. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be like everything in this world. There's always been some shared components.
For sure. Okay.
And, we're also excited to see that too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And then I guess I can't really see much under there. I guess that's good, and we'll jump in the interior and just kind of go over.
Yeah, feel free to climb around.
Is there anything specific in there that you want me to go over?
Oh, nothing major. I mean, the big one for me on a personal level, as an enthusiast side, is the rear locking differentials.
Okay,
so it's the first time we've ever seen that in a GX trim.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So it's pretty cool to see embracing that, and that will be on this package as mentioned, so there will be plenty of them that don't have that. So just to make that clear, it's not a standard across the line option. That's for the Over Trail Plus.
And this is using the electric steering now too, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Electric steering, and then
integrated rear hitch, which is kind of cool. And I don't know how easy, I actually even haven't popped it off yet. Curious how it pops up, but it's a frame integrated like the 200 series and like the 570. I'm sure it may just take like a little screwdriver to pop the clips. I don't want to, it's possible that,
since it's a prototype.
Yeah, but it's an integrated one, so you'd actually be able to get a fair bit of clearance. It's possible for users could get a little more clearance out of the back end by removing some of the cladding if they choose to do so, versus an aftermarket receiver that's hanging down, or a factory installed or dealer installed receiver underneath. So a little more high clearance there on the departure angle.
Cool. Yeah, beautiful truck, man. Very cool. And then everything's automatic, of course, Lexus. I'm not used to the Lexus stuff. I'm used to so I'm sure everything's pretty much automatic on this.
Quite a bit of automation for sure. A very integrated machine.
All right, well, cool. Kurt, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks for taking us around.
No worries. Happy to show you.
Engines, they're tuned differently, but is the Tundra, for some reason I thought there was a slight variation. The Tundra has a higher horsepower. It's 402 or 405.
This is detuned. And that's what my mind.
Because I remember that.
So we're climbing in on the interior here. So the center has a cool box, which I've heard about this stuff with Land Cruisers. There's actually, like, if you have a drink that's cold, you put it in here and it'll keep it cold, which is crazy. I wonder what temperature that goes down to. I might have to ask some questions on that. And then we have the rear locker, like he was talking about, the center locker, because this is full-time four-wheel drive. And then let's see, we don't have that mode select. Crawl control, multi-terrain select. This is actually kind of more simple looking as far as all of the off-road features. So we do have mode sets for the seats and everything, and this isn't a hardcore off-roader. I think that's where the Land Cruiser is going to pick up, but it does have the integrated screen. I kind of like how that's integrated. It doesn't stick out. That's one of the complaints some people have about the new Toyotas, is the screen kind of sticks out. As on this one, it actually looks more like it's part of the dash. Everything's push start now. This is electric assist. This has these like paddle shifters up here. It's kind of interesting. It has the heads-up display, which all the new Toyota stuff is coming with, and it looked like the cruise control, the radar cruise control, is built in up here. So if you do modify the front end, it won't mess with that. So if you're putting bumpers and stuff, because again, this is the Over Trail Plus model. I can't seem to remember all the model variations. Again, 6 months from now is production, so these are going to be a little while, but these are beautiful. Digital display for the gauges. But aside from that, I mean, it's relatively simple. We don't know fuel economy, we don't know payload, we do know tow numbers 8,000, and aside from that, we'll just figure out more as we go. It's pretty interior though. I like that cool box. That'd be really handy. Really nice. Well, that's nice. So then you have a ton of room back here. It's not level, it's kind of like the FJ, to where it kind of slopes for anybody that might be familiar with the FJ Cruisers, but it does slope quite a bit right here. So I'm sure Goose Gear, somebody will fix that if you're gonna take out your rear seats. But really the rear end of this thing, we had to take out our rear seats to fit the Snowmaster 56D because it is a pretty big refrigerator. And this, you could definitely fit everything we have in the back, plus have the back seats. This is quite a bit bigger of a vehicle. So this is closer to the Land Cruiser 80 series, he was saying, as far as sizing goes, which is honestly about perfect. So we got USB-Cs back here, seat heat for the passengers. Of course, we have rear climate control. Pretty nice. What we got here? I don't know how to fold that down. This is a prototype, I don't want to be too rough on it, but this is a really pretty car. I bet it's going to have a really pretty price too, but it's very cool. Lexus and Toyota are doing some pretty cool stuff right now. Different cubbies and stuff. Yeah, so just our, oh, nice. And then who knows what this is. Oh, they've actually got tie-down points. That's pretty nice. And so, and those are actually pretty substantial tie-down points. You can tell that this is all hand done, like he was saying, so don't mind all of the wrinkles and stuff. This isn't production model. Compared to an FJ Cruiser, which is of course what we get to base this all off of, this is much bigger because our refrigerator goes to like here roughly. So then you have the entire back seats.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and feel free to check out my other adventure, off-road, and overland related content.